Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome to CNA Weekend Recap. Justin and Josh coming to you from the Geek Cave. And tonight we're going to talk about mostly episode 1 of the new Disney Plus Marvel series, Moon Knight.
And you know, we're always really excited when we get a new Marvel Plus series, or Disney Plus series from Marvel.
Yes.
That's what we've basically been covering for about the last year, honestly.
Yeah, it's either that or Mandalorian.
Yeah. There's not a lot else to talk about, so we're going to get a little in-depth into Moon Knight tonight.
Yeah, you know, we could probably talk about Morbius if either of us had bothered to see it.
Not getting the best of reviews on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, based on what we've heard and what our president Glenn just told us, I'm feeling pretty good about my choice not to watch that movie.
Yeah.
I'll go check out a matinee maybe if I can get it cheap or something.
Exactly, and these are from two guys who have free movies sometimes, and we're like, nah, we're going to pass.
You know, I could rather do nothing.
When your better alternative is nothing, yeah, that kind of says something about your
Sony, give it back.
God, yes, please. Just let it go.
Oh. So if we do see it, we'll talk about it next week. I'm sure it's a mess.
Yeah, unfortunately. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
What's not a mess was the first episode of Moon Knight.
And I thought it was great.
I thought it was really good. It was intriguing. It didn't tell us much, which keeps you really wanting to come back for more.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought Oscar Isaac did a great job.
Just a fabulous actor.
A lot of people are bitching about that accent. Really? And I really think that's Americans who don't know that British accents vary.
Yeah, I mean,
all over that country, there are different accents. And it was clear he was going for like that kind of Surrey kind of accent.
Maybe it's because, you know, we grew up in the 90s where Kevin Costner was trying to do a British accent and Robin Hood. And so anything where they stick with it is better than that. And so maybe we're spoiled now. You know, like, oh, he actually sounds British the entire time. I like it.
Yeah. I thought he sounded like exactly what they wanted him to sound like. A weak, effete British man.
Yeah.
And that's what he was. This is Stephen...
I do not remember his last name. I was about to Google it before we started the show.
Anyway, Stephen is the one we're introduced to, even though we all know more his other character, Mark Spector. But the background of this is that he has dissociative identity disorder, and that he has been chosen by the ancient Egyptian god Khonshu to be the Fist of Khonshu, or the Moon Knight.
Yeah, and Marvel has done a really good job of portraying mental health issues. That's one of the things I've always liked about them. All the way back to a long time ago, a show that not enough people watched, Legion, did a great... It's the best show not enough people watched.
It's so good.
Yeah. But, I mean, even through all the Avengers movies, you know, Iron Man with PTSD, Scarlet Witch with, you know, her problems and everything, they have never shied away from showing mental health issues. And I've always liked it. And they've never done it cheaply. They've always done it in a really concerned and well-done fashion. Yeah. And that's something we don't see enough just in any other media, much less superhero movies. You know, I mean, I'm sure Batman has issues, but DC ain't showing that shit.
No, he just has dreams.
But yeah, so I mean, and Steven / Mark Spector / Moon Knight has DID, and this is actually a pretty new revelation in the comics. It's probably about, I think, 10 years old. Warren Ellis did the first run on Moon Knight where he had multiple personalities and was in a mental asylum. And you didn't know what was real or what wasn't. You didn't know if he was actually crazy or these were real personalities or Khonshu was doing this to him. And so it's an interesting thing that you had this unreliable narrator. And I really like that because
it's always fun.
Yeah, like you don't know what's actually happening, what's not happening, you know, and that's who we see this series through the eyes of.
So I thought the show started in a really creepy fashion. with the breaking of the glass and putting it in the shoes. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, that hurt me.
Oh yeah,
like,
I mean,
watching that, I just was squirming in my seat.
Everybody's ever stepped on glass knows that feeling.
I mean, the thought of having that all throughout your feet, that makes my So it did a good job of setting you off right off the bat. Yeah. You were kind of off kilter going into it. I think that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Then they go into him being in a bed, chained up. They kept you off the way we didn't see much of the action in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Every time there was action,
We didn't see any action mostly.
Just right at the end.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, anytime Mark Spector and Khonshu came out, we just got and then we're back to Steven, not knowing what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
That they kept us off the whole episode. I love that directorial choice.
Yeah, and I think it's really good, especially with this idea of DID and him absolutely not knowing what's going on.
Yes.
You know, waking up in strange places, not knowing how he got there, and all the steps he's taken to try and prevent that clearly haven't worked.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the interesting thing is, you know, from going so far as to chain himself to the bed to painters taping the door to make sure he can't get out. You know, steps that seemingly work but clearly don't.
Well, when he wakes up in this foreign country that some people are saying might be Latveria, but I doubt that.
I mean, it just looked like some Eastern European.
Yeah, just because of that, everybody's, it's Latveria. Why?
Because everybody wants everything connected. No, it's this weird cultish Resident Evil style village in the middle of the mountains.
And that's the first time we hear the voice of Khonshu. And I gotta say, I love that it's F. Murray Abraham.
Is that who it is? I did not realize that.
Love that.
And I like the fact that Khonshu is so derogatory towards Steven. Yes. The idiot has control.
My favorite line of the whole episode is, did he just throw the gun?
It's that, I mean, in and of itself, this ancient Egyptian god who's just like pissed off he has to deal with this. You know, like, I gave the wrong person power, clearly.
Because Mark Spector, we learned from that first interaction with Ethan Hawke's character, Mark Spector's a mercenary. That's probably why Khonshu picked it.
Yeah.
He felt that energy.
Just didn't know the mental side things that were going on with him.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting as it comes along. And I mean, clearly, you know, Arthur, the villain, the antagonist in the show, recognizes Mark Spector, which I think is kind of interesting. So we're going to see some past from that. You know, maybe when he was serving in Egypt as a mercenary, they crossed paths or something like that.
Yeah. I thought Ethan Hawke really kind of was great in this role. And it's one of the villains I always found the most terrifying is a true believer. He does not think he's in the wrong. Oh, no. He is the hero of his story. And I thought he did a great job of that calm, evil.
Oh, yeah. Because he was never outwardly angry or upset. It was just this quiet
inner peace.
Yeah.
Thing. Like, that is the most terrifying villain.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, talking about, you know, him as this villain, we've got to talk about what seems to be, you know, not the antithesis, but he is the avatar of another Egyptian god. I don't know how you pronounce it. Amit. Yeah. But she is the one who judges souls who go to the Egyptian underworld.
That's the scales.
Yeah. And even his cane when he did that little thing. And they weigh your heart against a feather. And if you don't pass, Amit devours your heart right there and kills you.
Like that old woman.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we're getting a lot into Egyptian mythology. So it'll be interesting if they keep going down this. And I hope they do, you know, because that's not something you see every day.
And I saw a TikTok. I wish I could give the TikToker credit, but I don't remember her name. But she's an Egyptologist, and she talked about how accurate, and it was clear that they did some research here because she was talking about how accurate everything they've done so far. So I thought that was cool. And that's the kind of stuff you expect from Feige at this point. But I think that's good to stick to it. Actually, one thing that was mentioned in the show has caused a bit of a stir. I don't know if you've heard about this.
Yeah, I have. I know what you're talking about.
The Armenian genocide?
Yeah.
So apparently there are a lot of Armenians out there that like to use the internet, and they are review bombing this show.
It's not the Armenians. It's the Turkish people who don't believe in the Armenian
That's genocide. What I meant to say, the Turkish people that don't want to recognize the Armenian genocide. So that's an interest. I doubt Disney even thought of that when they put that in there.
I think it was just a throwaway line, kind of. That they
just
didn't
mentioning several atrocities.
Yeah, that just didn't go through their head, which is a little bit surprising, actually. Disney, you know, kind of covers all their bases. I wonder if it like got slipped in there somehow or something like that.
I probably didn't know how much power Turkey had.
I don't know.
the loudest voices.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it. Unfortunately,
can we talk about one thing before we move on, and that is how much Ethan Hawke has aged into Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, Justin was telling me about this before we started the show, and yeah, holy shit, Ethan Hawke is becoming Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching it with a friend of mine, and she said, "I didn't know Kevin Bacon was in this," and I was like, "He's not."
That is, in fact, Ethan Hawke getting older.
The long hair doesn't help. I mean, if you put them side by side, you think they're brothers at this point.
Yeah, really. You know, flash dance. Ethan, you got it.
Anyway, that's total sidebar. Had to say it though.
But we do have to talk a little bit about, you know, where they're steering into with the supernatural aspect of this show.
Yeah.
And it, you know, we saw a little bit of it with Black Knight and Blade in the end of the Eternals, but this is the first time we've seen pure supernatural use.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know we've seen
outside of Doctor Strange.
Well, yeah, and he kind of balances, you know, both sides. You
Yeah.
know, he's mainstream, but he also, you know, is the magical art, supernatural. And you know, we both think that what they're building toward is the Midnight Suns.
100%.
Yeah, because you know you've got Black Knight, you've got Blade, you've now got Moon Knight. We know that
abound about Ghost Rider.
Yeah, we know there's a Ghost Rider coming. We're gonna have a supernatural team.
Yeah,
you know, on the books for Marvel. And I love that. The supernatural side of comics has always been my favorite
Constantine
thing.
man on the
Yeah,
DC side.
exactly. You know, I love Justice League Dark. That's my jam.
Well, and funny that you mentioned that because I read today that at a certain point in the episode in the museum, on the wall, there is a QR code. And if you scan that QR code with your phone, it takes you to a website that gives you access to a free digital comic of the Werewolf by Midnight, where Moon Knight first appears.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
And we know now that Disney is working on a Werewolf by Midnight Halloween special.
Okay, interesting.
So that's another step into this.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they're steered into it. You know, it's like Justin was saying earlier, you know, we're probably not going to have another Avengers film, but they're building all these other teams that we're working towards because, you know, that's kind of their thing is, you know, single individual movies that build towards these bigger stratums.
And I like the idea of it not being an Avengers, but let's see, you know, Midnight Suns, Young Avengers, even let's rebuild the Defenders.
Yeah.
Let's give another shot to the Defenders. We found out this week Marvel snuck in a bio for Matt Murdock on their site that linked them the two together. It gave a synopsis of every season of the Daredevil show, and then the last paragraph says, "Sometime later, he is hired as the lawyer Peter Parker." And so that canonizes the show.
Yeah, and I like that because I think for the most part we can all agree that the Netflix Marvel shows were really good.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, really well cast with an exception. But
a big exception.
But for the most part, I mean, they're just great. And I hope they keep everybody. I hope they don't lose anybody moving across. Yeah. You know, and, you know, talking about teams, you got to think about all the Marvel teams that have been out there. You've still got West Coast Avengers, Great Lakes Avengers with Squirrel Girl. You've got Alpha Flight that they could go to. You know, I mean, there's all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Hell,
so across the pond, everybody wants to see Henry Cavill.
Yes, Captain Britain. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that one. But you know, Wolverine has ties to Alpha Flight. All these mutants have their ties to these different teams.
Yeah,
and we can start seeing them kind of coming out of the woodwork.
Didn't even mention X-Men.
Well, come on,
Fantastic Four.
We know they're coming. I mean,
those are teams. That's my point. Is there are other teams we can see.
I was trying to come up with a more obscure one.
Throw the straight pitch every now and then.
Yeah.
It's what we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, we know we're getting the mutants sometime. We have no clue how at this point still.
Well, at least we were fairly certain we're getting Charles Xavier in 2 months.
Yeah, but which version of Charles Xavier? It's not like Patrick Stewart is dropping any hints.
As long as it's Charles Xavier, I'm happy. As long as it's not Charles Boner.
That was a great moment in that show, and you know it.
No,
we all literally gasped out loud when he showed up.
I think I threw something at the screen.
Yeah, when they revealed that he was, yeah. But when he first showed up, we were
But once it turned out to be Boner, I was like, God damn it.
This is WandaVision, by the way, that we're talking about.
Sorry, we evolved again.
It's kind of what we do.
There are some things that we don't know yet, and I think that's great. But one thing I really hope they do go with, and we talked about this right before the show, Marvel has been hit for not having enough inclusivity. And Mark Spector is the son of a rabbi. He's a Jewish descent person. Really hope they go that route. I really hope they don't whitewash that. That's part of his character, and they should go that way. So that'll be interesting to see where they go with that.
I think we're going to see a lot of interesting stuff with Moon Knight because partially the DID, and we've seen his appearance as Mr. Moon Knight, not in his traditional
Mr. Knight.
Yeah, Mr. Knight, not his traditional fighting robes, but his white suit and the pure white mask that was introduced during Warren Ellis's run. I think we're going to see several different types of Moon Knight during this show.
I can't
and
wait.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait.
And
the way the episode ended was so badass.
Mm-hmm.
We finally see him give over to Mark, and then the whole suit just sort of like mummifies him.
Yeah, and I like that they're not using him as like he suits up like Batman. It's pure supernatural.
Yes.
Like it just comes out.
And then we had all guessed it was a werewolf. It was not a werewolf. It was like some Egyptian hellhound.
Yeah.
But that's how the episode ended. Just beating that thing down, turning and looking at the screen.
And that just I'm dying for 2 days, 3 days from now.
Yes.
And I can get it again. Like I want to see the next episode.
And what more do you want out of a pilot than for it to end and be like, give me more?
Yeah. And it was just good.
It was really good. I liked the actors. I liked the pacing, the direction. Awesome.
Yeah.
I know we're total homers. We love the Disney Plus stuff. We haven't said much bad about any of them. That's because none of them have really been bad.
No, they've all pretty much.
If you have problems with them, I tend to think you're kind of picky. Because we say it all the time. It's such an awesome time to be a nerd right now.
Yeah.
This is just peak Marvel right now.
Yeah, it really is. Marvel's on top of everything. They really haven't dropped the ball, and it's just. They're good. You just, even if you don't love a movie or a series, they're just good. They're solid, Yeah. It's about all I can say about it.
I can't remember who said, I think it may have been Jared Leto the other day said that he's not sure that movie theaters would still exist if Marvel hadn't come around.
He's not exactly wrong.
No. It's the only thing that is consistently hits at the theater now.
Yeah.
So. Haters are going to be haters. But man, I'm so happy, and I can't wait to see what comes next. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. Like I said, Morbius, we'll see it at some point.
Yeah.
But, if you saw it and loved it, please hit us in the comments and let us know that we're wrong. And
what you liked about it. Let us know. We go in with open minds.
Tell us how it's not just a confusing mess.
Yeah. We have a little bit of DC news, but not really. Sharon Stone has been cast as Victoria Cord in the Blue Beetle movie.
That's the villain.
Is coming out at some point. It's another example of apparently they're mining 90s beauty symbols for characters in comic book movies.
Yeah. We're trying to give her a chance to redeem herself because she was the villain in Catwoman as well.
Yeah, I'd kind of blocked that out, but thanks for...
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's going to be lovely, those nightmares tonight. But yeah, so she's joined the ranks of Michelle Pfeiffer and Nicole Kidman as being a comic book character these days in DC and MCU.
I hope it's good. I like Blue Beetle. After a couple of seasons of Cobra Kai, I'm not sure about that kid as an actor. I'm not sure he's a great actor, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It may just be that Cobra Kai is very cheesy, but we'll see.
Yep.
Anything else?
Let's see. I don't think I mentioned it, but this is only my personal thing. I know Justin hates all CW shows with a passion.
Indeed he does.
But the season finale of Legends of Tomorrow had what I would think is one of the greatest scenes in the history of television. When Donald Faison showed up as Booster Gold as a time-traveling defender of a permanent moment in history, froze a World War I battle scene, and then played a round of golf using soldiers as, sand traps and bunkers and whatnot.
Turkleton.
That's exactly right. Donald Faison is the man.
So I hate CW, but I love Scrubs. And there's a rumor that JD, I can't remember the freaking actor's name.
I can't either.
JD from Scrubs, to Turk's best friend, he wants to come in and he wants to play Blue Beetle. Ted Kord's Blue Beetle, obviously. And that's the only way CW could ever get me back. If they bring Turk and JD and give them their own superhero show, you got me, CW. I said it couldn't happen. But
I want that to happen so bad just because you will like angrily watch that show every week and love it at the same time.
I mean, if Booster Gold picks up Blue Beetle and goes, Eagle!
Yep, knew where that was going.
Anyway, I'm sure most of you have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, this is.
If you don't watch Scrubs,
Yeah, it's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Trying
to think of anything else we got going on.
I think that's it.
Yeah, other than the Flash getting arrested again.
The Flash got arrested, but I'm sure they're going to move forward with that movie since it's completely finished.
Yeah.
But maybe they Flashpoint Flash.
They might. I think this is his third arrest for disorderly conduct.
Yeah, apparently you need to keep him away from the bottle.
Yeah. Don't think it's a good thing. So we'll see what happens to him. But
we're like a month away from Doctor Strange now.
Oh my God, I cannot wait for that.
So awesome there.
All over that shit.
We say it all the time. It's a great time to be alive and be a nerd. So get out there and do something geeky, even if it's watching Morbius. We'll talk to you about it next week. Excelsior.
Complete nerve authority.